Tally-ho everybody, this is A Heap of Games, Adam speaking, and I'm here to do the alternate version of Series 2 Banter Wars because of what happened with Heat H. No, it wasn't, it was Heat F, I believe. So now we have to do the alternate grand final. Now, it's all been redrawn, so I haven't kept the same battles. So we've got the 8 competitors, they'll go down to 4, down to 2, and the eventual winner. What's different about this one is that Facetious Goose eventually lost in the Heat final to Spyder. So now Spyder takes Facetious Goose's place in the grand final. So, the first game drawn up is Gaminsoy, Gaminsoy versus Tutorial. Let's get away from the bollocks and just go for it. So Tutorial channel versus Gaminsoy. First battle of the alternate grand final. So this is going to be another unedited video, simply because I don't really have time to do a full grand final again. There we go, Tutorial's already flipped over by Gaminsoy, but it can self-right if landing on the right part of the body. Is it going to self-right again? Or is it just going to sit there? It's got dangerous weapon Tutorial channel, but it is vulnerable to flippers. In the real grand final it lost to Girls Love Gaming, which was, let's be honest, an absolute beast of a robot. Let's see if we can just sort things out here, get a bit more of a battle going. Unless it's all over. Is it all over? Observerbot's struggling here. Let's see if we can put Tutorial on the flipper or something. Go away, Gaminsoy. Disturbing the Observerbot. I think it's over for Tutorial channel. I hope you enjoyed Series 2, by the way. Oh, there we go, Observerbot's been tipped over now. So, I think we've established who the victor of this battle is. Oh, there goes the fridge. It's all kicked off here. Much more entertaining than the Gaminsoy Elfblade battle that we had last time. I don't know why Tutorial isn't turning itself back over. It usually does, but maybe it just doesn't have the strength. So Gaminsoy wins that one. And we'll move on to the next battle. So let me just write this down. Where's my pen? There it is. So the winner of that one was Gaminsoy. So Gaminsoy does better than last time in the real grand final. Next up is Siren against a very unlucky you must say, hold on, I've got to find it here, a very unlucky Lernal who faced Siren in the real grand final and faces Siren again in this one. Let's see if the fortunes change. Lernal's robot being an absolute beast in 1.5 and Series 2 until it met Doodle, in which case it couldn't deal with a flipper. But this time it seems to be putting a bit more of a fight. It's not been turned over yet. Can it defeat the crazed animal that is Doodle's Siren? Well, so far it doesn't look too bad, does it? It's not been killed so far, but it is taking some serious damage. And something's going to have to change here. Weapons are being pulled off of Doodle. I always got the Observerbot counted out there. And this looks bad for Doodle because the Lernal has ripped off every single weapon. And could this be a shock in the making? It could well be. But Doodle's still got the better pushing power here. And could push Lernal, say, into the pit if one were to nudge the button. I think we'll keep the Observerbot out of this. Everyone seemed to get annoyed with the Observerbot. I think that's just being a bit petty, nitpicky. Is Lernal going to get turned over here? Doesn't look like it. In fact, it looks like Siren's going to take some substantial punishment from Lernal, who hasn't quite been as... usually a robot would have been destroyed by now. I'm not sure what armour Siren's got on, but it's doing well. It's holding up. But we've still got over a minute left. And I'm not sure how long Siren's going to last here. I really am not sure, because that weaponry on Lernal, unless Doodle can get a side attack on here, it's getting underneath it. There's no way of turning it over though. Right, come on, let's see something happening. I don't want to get involved with the Observerbot because with Lernal on top of Siren, it could end up turning Lernal over. And this could go either way, this battle. I'd say so far, if it went to a judge's decision right now, Siren would win, because Lernal's more heavily damaged. And Siren's been a lot more aggressive. But there's still about 30 seconds for things to change here. It's looking bad for, I don't know, because Siren's currently taking some heavy damage. About 15 seconds left for Lernal to knock out Siren. Can it do it? 9 seconds, 8 seconds. This is a lot closer than it was last time. And they both received equal damage. And it's gone to a judge's decision. And things changed since then. Look at the amount of damage done by Lernal compared to Siren. The fact that Lernal took off the weapons, every weapon of Siren, but Siren was more aggressive. So I'd say about, with 40 seconds left, Siren would have won, because it still had about half the health bar left. But both robots at the end had flashing red health bars, so that's changed. So Doodle was far more aggressive, but to damage alone, damage points, weaponry lost, it's got to go to Lernal. So the champion has lost to Lernal, which it was an absolute drubbing in the first battle. But this time, the Cakeinator comes out on top. Next up, if we can find the robots, where is Orange Avenger? So we will have a new champion in this alternate version of Series 2. But who will it be? Just cycle through all the sumo compares. There's Orange Avenger. And Orange Avenger is up against... who will it be? It will be Girls Love Gaming. The third place competitor from last time. It was Orange Avenger versus Girls Love Gaming. How's this one going to go? So this could be quite interesting now that the eventual Series 2 Grand Champion got knocked out. Can Girls Love Gaming provide a bit of a shock? So the two Grand finalists, Facetious Goose and Siren, from the real version are out. So we're going to have two new Grand finalists in this alternate version. Things seem a bit slow here. If Orange Avenger could get underneath Girls Love Gaming a bit more, we could see something happen, but they're sort of dancing around each other at the moment. Observerbot watch is on, but no one's really on top here. Girls Love Gaming has caused more damage. Let's see if I can separate them both with the Observerbot. Not much I can do, really. not without potentially throwing another robot over. Let's see, Observerbot's going to hang around. And why is Orange Avenger stopped? Come on, Observerbot, get in there. Orange Avenger's going to have to back away. Observerbot's going to have to run away. And it's going to be a push and shove battle. Which means give it another 10 seconds or so and I'm going to have to employ the Observerbot a bit more because nothing's happening. Orange Avenger has taken more damage, but Girls Love Gaming has gained more points. Neither one's been more aggressive than the other. I'm just going to open up the pit over here, just to add an obstacle to the arena. Go away, Girls Love Gaming. Run away. Now get away from the Observerbot. Now they're back facing each other again. On the flame pit. And something's come off. And I believe that was one of the Girls Love Gaming weapons. So now we're starting to see Orange Avenger taking control of the battle. There's a fridge which has landed on Girls Love Gaming but blocked the pit. And now Orange Avenger is underneath Girls Love Gaming. It just needs to flip it over. Why isn't it doing so? This happens sometimes with some of the robots. They get into a certain position where they decide not to flip something. But almost turns Girls Love Gaming over. And now they're stuck together again. So, time to separate. Run away, Observerbot. So I think now that Girls Love Gaming has lost another bit of weaponry, it's lost all its weaponry, it's gone. I think this is an Orange Avenger victory, so I'm going to preemptively write that down. Even though we've still got 20 seconds left, but I don't think much is going to happen, to be honest. I'm on the Flame Pit again. Girls Love Gaming's received more damage. It's gained more points in terms of damage points, but it's now lost all its weaponry. Almost got tipped over, so the judge's decision, I think, is going to have to go to Orange Avenger 2. And there we go. It's done. So the third place from the real series is gone. This is all being turned on its head here today. And our last of the original of the first 4 battles here, the quarterfinals, Spyder versus Elfblade. So let's see if we can find them. I believe Spyder's somewhere around here. Is it? Unless it's the orbital launch. There it is. Against Elfblade. It's somewhere near the bottom, I'm sure. There it is. So, Elfblade got to 4th place in the last one. Could we see the top 4 all drop out before the top 4? It'd be interesting. I would put my bets on Siren. And, yeah. Siren with that flipper. Elfblade always going to be vulnerable to flippers, as we saw when it faced Siren in the real grand final. So we are probably, unless something changes here, going to have 4 new top 4 robots. Gaminsoy, Lernal, Orange Avenger 2 and Spyder. Unless Elfblade can change things up here, which I don't think is likely. Let's change camera angles again. Stop viewing the observer bot game. Camera angles can be quite difficult. Not quite as difficult as they are if I haven't got the observer bot in the arena. It's a bit easier. Only when the F2 button works though. Sometimes it decides not to. As it's doing now, it just flicks like that. Not much else happens. So I'm going to open the pit up, because I think Spyder's going to eventually push Elfblade in. Stuck against a wall. Come on, you two. Oh, Observer Bot gives a helping hand. But the two are stuck again. Let's see if we can do something with this battle. Maybe turn Elfblade back over, give it a second chance. Observer Bot usually gives a robot a second chance. Only if it can do it though. Because at the moment I can't seem to tip Elfblade back over. And Spyder now wants to get in the way. So about 1:20 left. Oh, Elfblade turned itself back over. What can it do to Spyder here? I don't think it's going to be able to get under Spyder. Spyder was stuck briefly there. And it's going to get under again, I think. Unless Elfblade can lock the Spyder flipper, which it's doing. It's dragging the spikes along Spyder's body now. Spyder has received some damage. Not too much damage. But if this were to continue for, say, another minute, then there'd be worries about Spyder being killed, knocked out. Elfblade is going to get flipped again, I reckon. Unless this happens. The Spyder is actually taking a lot of damage here. More than I thought it would. And Elfblade is close to victory. Unless this happens. Now that's lucky for Spyder. That's very lucky for Spyder. Because Elfblade was about to kill it. Elfblade, it may look sluggish and sort of clumsy, but it's quite vicious, as we've seen during the course of the series. But that's it. Spyder is the winner. And we're going to have a new top 4 entirely. So I already pre-drew the next round. So I did A, B, C, D. B was drawn against C, so the winners of B and C face each other, which is Lernal and Orange Avenger 2. Let's try to find them again. Where are they? Where are they? I think they're around here, if I'm not mistaken. I'm probably mistaken. I know where Lernal is. There's Lernal. Orange Avenger has gone missing again. It's these middle ones where I just tend to lose robots. They sort of blend into one. There you are, in King Arthur's court. So Lernal versus Orange Avenger for the place in the grand final. Now, I would say it's quite difficult because Orange Avenger can flip. But in terms of deadly weaponry, Lernal reigns supreme here. Probably the most deadly robot in the whole competition. With the possible exception of Siren. But as we saw in the last battle, when it comes down to damage, then Lernal causes more. Did get lucky to get through against Siren. I don't think Orange Avenger's flipping spikes are going to be too much of a problem for Lernal. And now, oh, I'll get out of there, Observerbot. Well done. No, but most of the flipping spikes on Orange Avenger now are gone. Torn off, like everything that faces Lernal. Let's split them up. Give Orange Avenger a bit more of a chance. Not if Observerbot turns it round. Right, let's separate them. There we go. Right, I don't think no matter what happened there, I don't think Orange Avenger was eventually going to win anyway. I think it was over from the start. Now Lernal is sitting on top of the Orange Avenger. Run away, Observerbot. And I think that's it now. I think that final attack is going to do the damage. And Orange Avenger has been absolutely ravaged here. It's been torn to shreds. And that is a victory for Lernal. Can it beat the Observerbot? I doubt it, because Observerbot is going to go all the way to the pit. Almost turn itself over. And we have a Lernal, a Cakeinator, in the Banter Wars Grand Final of the alternate Series 2. Right, so now A versus D, Gaminsoy versus Spyder. Now this could be a bit of a challenge for Spyder because Gaminsoy has the flipper and the ability to run upside down. So which way is this one going to go? Let's find out, shall we? Where's Gaminsoy? It's around here somewhere, I know it. I knows it. I should really make a list of where they all are. Might make things a bit easier. Maybe he's in Rust Factory, there he is. So Spyder versus Gaminsoy for the second place to face Lernal in the grand final. Gaminsoy versus Spyder, and instantly Spyder is underneath Gaminsoy. But don't get complacent, Spyder. Do not get complacent. And stop holding Gaminsoy in the corner. Run away, Observerbot. If Gaminsoy were to get under Spyder, things might get a bit more complicated, but Spyder has the lower ground clearance. But just seems determined to hold things against walls, and I'm not happy about that. Spyder, stop being boring. Stop it. Very dull. Holding things against walls. Now Gaminsoy is on its side. Observerbot's stuck under the arena flipper. But this looks like it's going to be a Spyder victory. In which case we'll have Orange Arena 2 against Gaminsoy in the third place playoff. Is Spyder's sat on top of one of Gaminsoy's flippers. It's all one-sided at the moment. Neither one taking any severe damage. But Spyder doing all the flipping. Gaminsoy can't get underneath it. Spyder simply won't let it go. So I might have to intervene here. Because Spyder's been holding on to the Gaminsoy for quite a long while now. And we want to see a bit more competitiveness here. And get away from there, Observerbot, else you die. Go on. And then once again, Spyder is able to turn Gaminsoy over. Get away from there, Spyder. Give it a chance. come fight the Observer Bot for a bit. We're going to see something happen here. Gaminsoy's back over. Look, Spyder. All fair in love and war and that, but give him a chance. Nope, no chance given. Spyder is not letting Gaminsoy go, and I think that's going to be it now. There's no hope for Gaminsoy. Not enough ground clearance, and then matches like this where it's flipper versus flipper, that makes all of the difference. So, Gaminsoy, slow, sluggish, can't get under Spyder. Oh, can now. And Spyder wants to climb on top. It's a bit heavy for Gaminsoy to flip it while Gaminsoy is upside down. Bad luck, old boy. And someone's being counted out. I believe it's Gaminsoy. Hasn't really got the energy. The Spyder has been a right bloody nuisance. Won't let things go. Nevertheless, Spyder is the victor. Which means we cross Gaminsoy off. But he goes up against Orange Avenger 2 for third place playoff. And here we go. Who is going to take third place? The new bronze holder. Well, the unofficial bronze holder from the alternate version. And we have this. Alright, lads. Come on. Get some action going. This is exactly what happened with Orange Avenger 2 and Facetious Goose in the real grand final. And Elfblade versus Gaminsoy. So they're both sluggish robots with low ground clearance. And this is exactly what happened with Facetious Goose and Orange Avenger. And Observerbot had to get involved, else it would just be the most boring game in existence. And now Orange Avenger 2 is underneath Gaminsoy and throws it over. It's quite a powerful flipper once it gets a good angle on something. Gaminsoy is under pressure again. So you'd expect Orange Avenger to take third place here today. Taking over the third place of Girls Love Gaming, who it beat in the first round of this grand final. And it's doing this again. Come on, you two, split up. Do something exciting. Gotta take Orange Avenger over here. And we're back to this again. Look, Orange Avenger. Stop boring everyone. Oh dear. Well, be prepared everyone for another minute and a half of this. Unless Gaminsoy goes on the arena flipper and gets thrown over. That's a bit more exciting. And now getting pushed onto the drop zone area. What's going to happen? Is someone going to land? Completely missed. Onto the flame bit then. Right, come on you two. I'm going to open the pit. Just so we have something to... something that could potentially happen. Look, this is terrible. This is absolutely terrible, lads. Get some action going. Orange Avenger is a bit nippier than Gaminsoy. But this is tedious. Unless... Oh, there goes the Observer Bot. God's sake. And now I can't do anything about it. I've got 40 seconds left of this. Rest assured though, that in Series 2.5 onwards the Observer Bot will be able to turn itself back over. Thankfully. Because there's been multiple times today in this series where it's been turned over and the battle's been completely out of my control. So that's something that's needed changing. But this has been terrible. I mean, come on guys. Orange Avenger, Gaminsoy, this has been dull. Dull, dull, dull. But Orange Avenger will take 4 seconds after, might as well just end it. Orange Avenger takes third place. And now the alternative champion will be found. It is Lernal versus Spyder. Wherever he is again. Where are you, Spyder? Where are you, Spyder? Somewhere around here. There it is. So, my bets would be on Spyder, because of the flipping capabilities. Probably the strongest flipper in the series. You've also got Doodle and Facetious Goose in there, which were pretty powerful flippers. But Spyder's probably the robot with the strongest flip, and Lernal is going to have to get quite lucky here, I think, because it's already turned. But Spyder needs to get rid of it early, because Spyder's wet armour is weak, and so if Lernal gets enough time, can probably cause some serious damage on Spyder. And that's not good to be chasing the Observer Bot, even though the Observer Bot's halfway across the ring. I need to get the Observer Bot a bit closer so we can see things better. Oh, that's a good flip, and that could be it. Now this is an entertaining grand final so far. A lot more entertaining than the third place battle. There goes the fridge, but that's all of the flippers gone from Spyder in one blow. And that is the power of, well, the combined power of the fridge and the Lernal robot. And this has all got to be wrapped up now, surely. Spyder is getting attacked from the side, getting their Observer Bot, change things up a bit. Let's move them away from each other just so something can happen. And Spyder can get underneath Lernal, the Cakeinator I should call it. But I think this is over. Spyder's already looking dead. And it's pretty much dead. And we have an alternative champion in the Cakeinator. And the Observer Bot just needs to push it into the pit, or against the fridge, whichever. There we go. So, there we go. Siren's still the official champion of Banter Wars, but in this alternate universe, Lernal is the champion. Thank you very much, everyone. Remember to check out the other Banter Wars videos that will turn up on my channel, and also go over to the Astrox Gaming channel, where I will be uploading episodes of Banter Wars Obliteration. Now, they won't be too regular, maybe once every month or two, but it will cover the big questions of our time, like the one we've done just now is Hillary Trump versus Donald Clinton. So things like that, current events, will decide which one wins. Anyway, thank you all very much. Ta-ra, toodle pip toodaloo, and cheerio. See you later.